So what is good and evil? What is truth? Let me explain. Truth by definition is, and false by definition is not. خلق السماوات والأرض بالحق. He created, Allah, this universe with truth. For truth is at the fundamental core of our existence. Let me explain. Look at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we know He is haqq, is not batil. Truth, can falsehood exist without truth? A little questioning session here. Can a lie exist without the truth? Think about it. It cannot. Flip it the other way. Can truth exist without a lie? Yes. Here's the proof. If I say to you, I always lie, does it make sense? I always lie. Does it make sense? No. It's an oxymoronic statement. Amazing. Huh? Yeah, I always lie. Does it make sense? You know why? Because my statement I just made is a lie then. But then if it's a lie, that means I speak the truth. But if I speak the truth, I just lied. Oh, that doesn't make sense. See, it traps you. Why? Simple English statement. Simple. Take it in any language. Speak like that in Chinese too. Doesn't matter. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. What does it mean? You will find that my statement, if it lacks the element of truth in it, is a nonsensical statement. So for lie to exist, even in that sentence, it needs truth with it. Otherwise it can't exist. Nothing makes sense. But now flip it. I always tell the truth. No problem. See? So Allah is telling us, look at yourself. You, creature, you make a lie, you are flying in directions that don't exist. And it will confuse you completely. Flip it the other way, you'll find when you say, I always speak the truth, there is no problem. So you notice that there is haqq and batil, there's truth and falsehood. Falsehood cannot exist without truth. But truth can exist without falsehood. Take that into the dimension of the absolute and you will find that in the absolute dimension, subhanallah, Allah is haqq, He is the truth. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So we see that there is truth and false. False is to negate the truth. For example, do you know that the cold that we feel does not really exist? In scientific terminology, there is no way to measure cold. Cold does not exist. Darkness does not really exist as an entity. Subhanallah. Observe this, my brothers and sisters. This observation is essential for you and I to acknowledge the wonderful gifts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Darkness doesn't exist. Measurements cannot be made of darkness. It's a lack of light that brings darkness. So our measurement of heat is what decides what is cold and what is not cold. Our measurement of light decides how much brightness and how much darkness. So the entity of existence, that which is of haqq, that which is of truth, can delineate and it allows the other to exist. Without the other, it cannot. The basic logic. So it takes us into the domain of good and evil now. Let's observe very quickly without taking too much time. What is good? Good is the truth. Evil is the false. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you and I to accept what is true. Whatever is true, accept it. Whatever is false, reject it. قُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقِّ وَذَهَقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. The truth is ever prevalent, false is ever vanishing. You find a human being who lies. Look at a liar. builds a house of cards for himself. Imagine you went to school, your mother said, from school, come back home. Look at the social dimension of truthfulness versus false. Watch. It takes the entire human being who is on a firm ground and puts him on a precarious ground instantaneously the minute he lies. So you went to school, you came, but instead of going home, you went to the movies. You're not supposed to go to the movies, but you went. So now you came home, you went to the movies with your friends. Came home, your mother said, where'd you go? She said, I went to the library. Which is a lie. You didn't do it. It does not exist. You were not in the library. It's a lie. You manufactured something that's not there. We don't like to be lied to, by the way. I mentioned this before. Amazing. Even the most ardent liar hates to be lied to. Because the very essence of truth demands that some level of truth should be given to me. Otherwise, I cease to function. I cease to exist. So you find the child says to the mother, I went to the library. Oh, really? And who'd you go with? Oh, I went with my friend. Now you just created a trap. Now you're worried. Uh-oh. What if my mother finds out? And your mother has asked you, who was that friend? She says, oh, my friend, John. So now you pick up the phone, quickly call John, you know. Hey, listen, if my mother calls you, make sure you tell her, okay, that we went to the... You see how infectious it is? The poor guy John was cool, you know, having a good time in his life, Mr. Truthful. Suddenly he gets a call from his friend. Come on, you got to join in my lie. Now the poor friend feels obligated. This is my friend. I have to lie for him. You see that? See the social dimension now? He's building a house of cards. The poor guy was all in peace. Suddenly he got disturbed. Because now he has to join his friend and hold on to this lie which he created. Because at his friend's house, he had no problem about going to the movies. But now the poor guy has to also tell his mother. See, it becomes compounded. You have to create a lie on top of a lie on top of a lie just to keep one truth going. And you will find the precarious nature of that lie puts you in such an uncertain state that your whole demeanor falls apart. Your confidence level breaks apart. You become a wicked creature. Haven't you noticed why our Imams, each and every one of them was imprisoned either by being killed with a sword or being poisoned? Yet they never hurt a fly. Why? Because when they came around the circle of liars, the liar had to trap him and put him in jail, otherwise he would expose his house of cards. When you're a truthful person and you come in an arena of a big bunch of liars, you are an outright threat. Kill him. Look at the social dimension of problems. That the one who manufactures something which is not there becomes a vicious creature who creates an environment that's destructive continuously. With all due respect to my Christian brethren, the lie of the Trinity of Jesus is again enforced upon its Christian followers. That you must accept Jesus as the Son of God, otherwise you're going to go to hell. So what they do, they force it upon you. You can't explain it, you cannot justify it, but give it to them because that's how it's going to be. You ask a Christian priest, explain the Trinity to me. He said, if you ask me, I don't know. If you don't ask me, I know. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So you find that friend now, poor guy, has to get his other friend involved. But you know, they say a thief has 40 days. Like the Quran says, قُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقِّ وَذَهَقَ الْبَاطِلِ. Truth is ever prevalent. False falls apart. Because the minute you go there, what happens in a conversation, that mother had a conversation with that mother. Yeah, I heard my sons, you know, with your son go to the library all the time. And the mother said, library? What library? Didn't they just go to the library? Library. They never went to a library. Here we go. The house of cards are falling. And then the next thing, but you said, he said, I said, you see, bingo. It's all chaos. Your mind is splattering all over the place. There you go. You just got ruined. But there's an element of social relations with regards to this. That the minute you lie, your trust factor just dropped. And humans function on a level of trust. The greater the trust value, the greater the investment. Subhanallah. Observe the social behaviors. That a man who's known to be a consistent liar, no one trusts them. But the element of time hits upon you that if you were ever caught lying, then for the rest of your life you speak the truth, people will always doubt you. Don't you notice that? Isn't that true? Who can deny that? Ask any human being with common sense will tell you yes. You think the design of Allah's infinite mercy when He brings forth the last prophet, what does He do with him? He sets him in an environment and leaves him for 40 years that pagan, that atheist, that rejecter will come out of his mouth and say, Al-Amin. The trustworthy one, the truthful one. That when our prophet is acknowledging his prophethood in public, he says, if I tell you there is a caravan behind this mountain, would you believe me? They said, you are Al-Amin, you have never lied, you have never cheated us. He said, then I'm telling you there is no God but Allah and I am His messenger. Who can deny that? Because he's got the element of haqq in him. He's got the element of truth in him that nobody in that period of time until today can reject the validity of what our prophet was saying. Why? Because look at the practical application of Islam, that his prophets come with haqq. They come with so much truth that no one, even 10 million years later, can reject the authenticity of a man who spoke nothing but the truth. So the element of truth is fundamental to our existence. That you find, you go into a store. Look how Allah is showing us, very easy. A person goes into a store, I don't encourage this, but you go, you pickpocket. You know, some people have a nasty habit of pickpocketing. Pickpocket, or they be, what do you call this? They like to take things and stick it in their pockets. Shoplifting. Now you ever, no, don't ever try it, please, okay? But, if you ever did that, believe me, the world changes its appearance instantly. If you are guilty, and you walk into a store and you take something, somebody looking at you, you become petrified. You look up, you see a camera, uh-oh, everything seems to have eyes. Some guy walking at you, uh-oh, that must be the CIA, that must be the FBI, that must be the police, whatever. Somebody looks at, hello, oh my God. I just say hello. I know, but see, because you're guilty. But if you went into the store and you never touched anything and you spoke the truth, somebody says, hello, screams at you, hey, how you doing? Hey, take it easy, I'm okay, I'm calm. You know, be cool, okay? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Finally, I'll conclude in my positions. What is good and evil? Nothing that Allah creates in the universe is evil. In its essence, everything is good. Even Iblis is a perfect creation. There is nothing wrong with him. What makes him evil is his ability to reject which he chooses so. If you and I reject Allah, we become evil, but our essence is not evil. The creation of this creature who can choose right from wrong, an insect, a snake, a human, shaitan, the angel, everything is perfect. Let me explain. Evil is only a relative state. In the relative world, this is why I started my first presentation of the relative world, frame of reference. Everything has a frame of reference. Nothing can escape the frame of reference. Nothing. In our existence, nothing. As I mentioned, even my language will not make sense to you if it is outside the frame of reference. Now look at the laws of Allah and then I will conclude. True, good and evil. What is good? Good is, evil rejects the truth. Now watch. Simple. you will find that evil is just a relative state. Let me give a scenario. Evil is that which is not true for the moment, based on the frame of reference. Take an exam, classic example. In a test, you have 10 questions. Each question has 5 multiple choice. Each question has 5 multiple choices. I'm sure many of you, most of us have taken it. The first question shows you a picture of a dog and says, what is this? Answer, cat, fish, horse, dog, human. Obviously, it's a picture of a dog, so the answer is dog. That's good. You get rewarded. Choose the other 4, it's evil, you get punished. If you choose cat and the picture is dog, wrong, punishment. But now, is the cat evil? No. Relative to the question, it is evil. But the next question, it's a picture of a cat. The first question, dog was good. Second question, dog is evil. Cat is good. You see? So evil and good fluctuates in the world of the relative world depending on your frame of reference. That which is halal for the moment can become haram the next moment. That which is mustahab for the moment can become makruh the next moment. Whatever the case may be, it's all subject to the relationship by which you are being questioned under. So there is no absolute evil, it's only relative evil, and it's all based on the perspective that Allah gives you. Which choice are you making for the moment? For whichever you choose other than the truth, you are evil. So shaitan is evil by his choice, not by his essence. Our Christian brethren have a problem with this. Because when I went to discuss it with them, I said, so the devil is what? He says he's evil. In fact, the more evil there is, the better the exam. But you notice that all it takes is one good and it wipes out all the evil. In any exam, subhanallah. You look at the system of Allah, it shifts and fluctuates at that level. That insan is being told that this evil that has been created for you is only a trial for you to choose. That which you reject as the truth is evil. It doesn't mean it's evil in its essence. It just means on the frame of reference, at the moment of the question, if you answer other than the truth, you're a liar. And if you're a liar, you're an evil person. When you ask the Christian the same question, he can't answer that because he doesn't understand the scope of this kind of relationship. He says the devil created himself. So how can something create itself? Problematic. You find it problematic because what happens? No conception of right and wrong in its truest essence. Why? Because the guidance that the Quran gives us in its complete form in telling us what these are is precisely at this level. Our Imams were masters of showing this.